Welcome y'all to another episode of the Presidential Executive. What's going on? This your boy right here, JB. This my brother over here, El Presidente Rag. What it do, brother?
Man, what's the good word?
Man, I just finished coming out some good sun, some beautiful beaches.
Yeah, I saw that, man. Yeah, good vacation.
Yes, sir.
Especially in this time of year, you was warm while the rest of us was cold.
Yeah, definitely. That was different, man. I was telling the wifey how I've never been, when it's like the holiday time, when it's cold, going to warm weather.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I never did that. So that was a good experience. And also kind of awkward, too, seeing like reindeer and Christmas trees when it's like 90, 95 degrees outside. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, it was just a little different experience, but it was lovely. Right. But I want to say congrats to my boy Josh McDade and his beautiful bride, Laura.
Shout out to the homie Josh McDade.
Yes, sir. McDade. Beautiful wedding out there. Appreciate all the love, hospitality, gifts, all the things, man. Y'all showed us a good time. Good to link back with all the bros that was there. Obviously Josh, Pat, Brian, Pat, Brian, Dave, Sean.
Corey make it out there?
Corey didn't make it out there. Yeah. Boone didn't make it out there.
Okay.
But it was a great time, man. Great time. But y'all, before we get started, go ahead and like this video right now. We're wherever that you stream podcasts. We're on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, and Stitcher. So what to do, man? You tell me what's up with you, dog. I told you got the JV set on and everything.
Man,
you know what I'm saying? The JV, remember the JV back in the day? What my brother Tommy had the John on with the JV. You know what I'm saying? With the JV set. You know what I'm saying? That John hard, man.
Man, look, it's cold outside. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta. And I switch it up. I don't really. You know me, I'm not a fashionista or anything like that. But every now and again, it's good to switch it up.
For sure.
So like I don't. I know how to put it on.
Yeah.
I ain't always put it on. I know how to put it on.
Yeah.
I just like to be comfortable. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, it just so happened that sometimes, when freshness and comfort meet, you're able to make it work.
Yeah. No, I'm with you, bro. Like, I'm in the crib, so I try to be as comfortable as possible. Sometimes I just want to wear a T-shirt or whatever, but I just make it do what it do. Shout out to Fro for the hoodie, man.
Oh, yeah. Shout out to homie Fro.
Yeah. Shout out to Fro on that. Man, let's get straight into it, man. If y'all see the thumbnail, y'all see what's going on, see what we're going to talk about. I want to first get into this UHC CEO suspect, Luigi. You know what I'm saying? Like the Mario brother, Luigi.
Right. Yeah, I saw something on Instagram and somebody said when the Mario brothers go wrong.
Wow.
Was it Maglione?
Maglione. I'll go get you to pronounce it. I
don't know. Spell it. You got it pulled up?
I do. It's Mangio.
Oh, Mangione.
Mangione. Okay, it's Mangione. Okay.
I don't know why I thought it was an L in there.
Yeah, it's Mangione. Yeah, it's Luigi, but Luigi Mangione. I'm gonna give y'all an update real quick, and I'm gonna put it up here on the screen here. Can I do that? Let's see here. Let's go. Let me see. Let me do this on the other screen here. Let me do this.
While he pulling it up, man, shout out to my homie DJ Kenny Kane, because every time he does his mixes, like he'll just be randomly giving us a shout out. You know what I'm saying? Like I'll tune in. And if he see me watching or whatever, like sometimes I'll be working and I'll just tune in while he's playing his old school mixes. And, man, he'll give us a shout out and like, hey, tag y'all go check the podcast out.
Okay.
He's like, tag it in there. And so, he, whether I'm on there or not, like I've gone back and watched it and like, man, he giving me a shout out, giving us a shout out. We ain't even, you know what I'm saying, catch the live. So, man, shout out because he supports us and he tells people to follow us and he even has shared some of our stuff, on his page. So,
dope. What's his name again?
Kenny Kane, DJ Kenny Kane.
Okay.
Yeah, he was a few years ahead of me at RE. You know what I'm saying? Like one of the big was on a lot of music that a lot of people wasn't on. Back when we was in school. Yeah. If it wasn't like Memphis stuff, a lot of people wasn't on it. But him and another one of the homies, Julian, like they was on all types of Tribe Called Quest, Mobb Deep, Outkast. Like they was on all that type stuff. You know what I'm saying? Kind of helped expand some of my horizons a little bit, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So,
okay.
But yeah, but shout out to him because, he always supports what we doing.
For sure. Yeah, shout out to him, man. Appreciate all the love. All the love. All right, let's see here. I'm put it up here big enough too. Maybe some of y'all can read it down the line. So, Luigi Meggione, we say that right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, the update. He's a suspect in the UHC, and I say UHC because that's the carrier that I use. You know what I'm saying? Where I work, that's where we get our benefits from. So
I have them too. I get my dental through them.
You do? Okay. So I'm familiar with it. So the CEO of the shooting, that's his name. He shot in cold blood. I don't know if y'all saw the video. You saw the video? Yeah, it was pretty bad. Was fatally shot on Wednesday outside of a Midtown Manhattan Hilton. And he was arrested and facing charges on a murder charge and the killing, of course. The killing was the guy, the CEO, was 50-year-old father of two, sparked a manhunt in New York and beyond. And they're saying he'll face a murder charge in Midtown Manhattan killing. Now, the thing about this cat, we'll get back to some more of this reading here in a minute, but he's a guy that come from privilege.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
His family has millions of dollars.
Millions of dollars
Yes.
from Maryland, I believe,
Yes.
right? From Maryland.
Yes.
So, Ivy League student. I think he was the valedictorian of his class.
In high school, yep.
That was
he's
running
Ivy League educated.
Yeah, and that was running some speeches that he did as a valedictorian, running through that. Like, you know, so this is like a real smart cat, come from privilege, right? So, and now I don't know if you know the other details of it, the bullets. The stuff that was written on the bullets.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Make it real detailed. I think one was denied, deploy, and another D.
It was three. It was three different. Yeah, it was three different ones.
It was three. It was three different D's. Now we can get into a couple of those, but what I'm pointing to, like, it was the whole background of it was very detailed, and how he did it. I think he was waiting outside all night. I think he stayed the night there or something like that. And, you know, ended up, you know, shooting the dude in the back, I believe, 6 times or something, right? So, and what makes this all interesting, like, I ain't gonna lie, when I first heard it, I was like, oh, man, it's crazy. Somebody shot a CEO outside New York. I didn't know who the company was, the CEO, so I'm like, dang, that's messed up in cold blood. But then when you get deeper into the story of it's an insurance company, and so we've talked at length medically about certain things, you know what I'm saying, about insurances, and you know what I mean. And so, and actually this cat was, I think he had like a back injury. He had, I don't know exactly what it was, but they had a picture or X-ray of his back and had like needles and pins and stuff in it. And, you know, and so clearly, it's not clear because everything is still alleged, they're still going through it, but this dude had some real beef with not only UHC, which I'm assuming that was maybe something his carrier or who he's dealt with, but just the industry as a whole. And I don't know if you saw it when they arrested him today and was pushing him in. He yelled out some stuff. I believe he yelled out something about the intelligence of the American people, you know what I'm saying, and said something else too. I can't think of it now. I don't know if we even have that in the quotes, but he blurted out something, but basically was paraphrasing, talking about the American people are being fooled or being bamboozled. And you know, it's interesting, right, man? What you think, dog?
Okay, so in regards, and I know we're gonna get into the rabbit hole of what
we are.
UHC was doing and everything, and a lot of what they were being sued for and things that was happening within the company. But like, so now you expect us, and this is why I say, like, they play on our ability to not go and research stuff. And they tell us, oh, don't research yourself, take our word for it. No, don't do your own research. You don't so you expect us to believe this Ivy League educated, very intelligent person who comes from privilege, whose family has
wealth,
millions upon millions.
Not rich, but wealth.
Right, wealthy. They own properties, they own land, they own businesses. They got money. He got old money. Like you expect us to believe this guy is tripping over $20,000 in medical expenses, and you come from a family that wiped their ass with $20,000. You expect us to believe this Ivy League educated person, when he got caught, he still had the silencer on him, he still had the gun on him, he still had his ID with all his information. Yeah, you got all of the evidence on you. This is an intelligent person. This is an intellectual person. But you somehow managed to forget to throw away everything. And this person who basically committed the perfect crime, he got out of New York with all of the cameras, and outside of just like a little side view of his face, he gets identified in the McDonald's because of his eyebrows. Yeah. Somebody recognized his eyebrows
because he had the mask on, right? He had the mask on.
Hundreds of miles away from where the crime took place, you get identified by your eyebrows. Mm-hmm. So all I know is that if, hypothetically speaking, like something that happened over 50 years ago back in Dallas back in the day, when the person that supposedly committed a crime, like before he can get processed, he gets assassinated. And then the person that assassinates him dies in the jail cell. All I know is if homeboy don't make it to trial and he's just overcome or racked with grief and he takes his own life, or somehow years later, a la James Earl Ray, I was a patsy, I was set up. All I'm saying is don't fall for the wolf tickets. Yeah. It ain't no freaking way you get away with the perfect crime and you get caught because of your eyebrows. Like that, and when they said like, how did y'all recognize him? No, like we recognize his eyebrows. Yeah. Like I smell a rat, I smell foul, and this will go back again as we get into what UHC was doing and what they were accused of, what they were being sued for. A lot of the allegations that not only the company but the CEO that was assassinated. Because again, it's just like with our boy Epstein. I'm not going to be the only one go down, but then all of a sudden I'm so overcome and racked with guilt and grief that I take my own life right after I say I'm not going to be the only one going down. I just feel like homeboy that was assassinated probably wasn't finna be. He was finna pull a Nino Brown. I ain't finna be the only one getting sued. I ain't finna be the only one going down. And so I'm not, while I do believe Luigi did what he did, I do believe that, oh, we got you covered. And as soon as you do what you do then, now you got to go down.
So now, what you were talking about with the UHC stuff, like what we're being sued for? Maybe I'm not sure if I'm aware of the exact.
Two different things.
Is two different
so
things.
So one of them is that earlier, it was either the end of last year, or early this year, they dumped millions of dollars worth of stock. So it's an insider trading type situation.
Okay, I did hear something. Okay, I did hear something like that.
And he was one of the people that did that. So that's one of the things that was being done. They were also being sued because when you talked about what was written on the bullets, they were actually denying that people were like dying. They were denying that people were sick. So they're not paying out, insurance because they're saying, oh, this person ain't really dead or this person ain't really sick. So money that you're supposed to get back, from your insurance, you're not getting. And I guess as far as Luigi being upset when you talked about the back injury, if that's to be believed, what was being said by one of his friends was that it was affecting him physically as far as not allowing him to like work and live a normal life, but it was also affecting like his sexual intimacy and stuff like that because. And again, like you hear the old heads make that old joke, like, oh, if your back go out, you like a horse with a broken leg, they gonna take you in the backyard and shoot you. If your back go out, you ain't no good. Like, as a man, if your back go out, and you like 26, between 26 and 28,
25, 26 years old.
Like, you there, you in your prime.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you got at least 30 good years left. Yeah. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, your back gone in your prime,
right?
It's over with, fella.
That's what I'm saying. Mentally, if that was the case, like mentally, that has to, mess with. I saw his roommate. His old roommate was talking on CNN or whatever station it was, a platform, and said those same things that you were just saying. So I'm looking at it from this angle. I'm thinking like, if you look at UHC, I looked it up. Like they're number one as far as like denying claims. Mm-hmm. They're number one. Right. Number one in the industry, that is. So you can look at all Cigna or whatever else, right? And so 32% is their percentile in denying claims. And the industry average is 16. So they're double
twice what the
more than what denying the claims and everything. And so again. And then when you look at the CEO Brian Thompson, they let him in, and he tripled the profits of the company. Pretty much, if you look at his quarters and earnings from when he was not there and when he got there, he pretty much double or tripled everything. But then also put in the claim stuff and the denying the claims. Like, it's clear on like how did that happen, right? So it's looking, real slick. I'm interested to see, like you said, what's gonna happen, because this is a very intelligent cat. And so I'm sure he can articulate himself. Let's say he does go to trial, and let's say he does lose, but he will say a lot of stuff that will incriminate, more than likely, UHC, and probably not even UHC, just probably the insurance game as a whole.
I mean, and when you think about it, like, people who have these manifestos, whether they are domestic terrorists or serial killers or whatever, none of the, like, it's only in horror movies that person is stupid. Yeah. I mean, like, unless you just on some street shit, but even then, when you hear guys like Sammy the Bull talk about, like, having killed 19 people, and you hear him articulate and elocute how he did that, you could see, like, if he had put his efforts in an academic area, he's a very intelligent, well-spoken guy. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? So, like, in order to be good at, anybody can kill somebody, but to do it at a certain level, it takes a certain level of intellect. He had the Unabomber's manifesto. He actually gave it a 4-star review. But a lot of people, they forget, Ted Kaczynski, who was the Unabomber, he went to one of the better universities in America. He was a smart guy, but he was also a victim of MK Ultra, which is, again, for years they denied that existed, but that is where the government was experimenting, putting people on LSD, seeing if they could mind control people to get them to kind of do certain crimes, and they forget that they actually did the crime, so they wouldn't have any culpability. Kind of like, you ever seen that movie, The Manchurian Candidate?
I've seen. I know you.
So it's two versions. It's like the old version with Frank Sinatra in it, and then they remade it like in the 2000s with Denzel. He was in it, but basically it was like they mind controlled this guy, similar to the Winter Soldier. It's like where you say some code words and you snap into this thing, and then you go kill somebody, and then they say the code words again, and you snap back out of it. And you don't remember what you did. That was the Unabomber. But Charles Manson was also somebody who was a victim of MK Ultra. So you see what these people have in common. You got these guys. Charles Manson was a serial killer. Very intelligent guy, though. Ted Kaczynski, the Unabomber, was a serial killer. Very smart guy. And here we have Luigi, who, other than not having all the evidence on him, you see clearly he's a Ivy League educated, well-to-do, well-spoken, and I forget what I want to say he had like an engineering degree.
Something
like
that.
Not only do you go to an Ivy, because you could go to an Ivy League school and major in basket weaving, but like, no, this nigga is smart.
Yeah. Now
you see what I'm saying? So like this.
Tell me what you think about this. Like, so do you think it's you thinking it's an inside job as far as what's kind of going on with that? Job. As far as like you thinking he was probably paid or whatever, maybe to do whatever he did.
Oh yeah,
possibly. Okay. Now, okay.
I mean, again, like I mentioned, Sammy the Bull Gravano earlier. Like when him and John Gotti killed Paul Castellano, that was an inside job. You know what I'm saying? Because the mob was afraid that Paul Castellano was going to snitch, that when he was being indicted by the feds, they was going to hit him with a RICO charge. They thought he was going to snitch. So the old heads approved. They turned a blind eye to them killing a boss because that was illegal in the mob. So the only way you can get away with something like that is somebody knows something. Somebody at the top knows what's going on.
I think that's possible. Also look at it from this. He comes from so much privilege. He comes from so much money. And now, like you said, I don't think he tripping on medical bills, so to speak. But at the end of the day, your health, it ain't no amount of money in the world can get you healthy or healed, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just like he's coming from all this money. But now he has this physical ailment. You know what I'm saying? Back against the wall. He's never felt that because he's always either knew somebody to get him out of the situation, his parents, or just paid his way. And so now with this back injury or whatever, it's like money can't do nothing for this. Your connections can't do something for this, and so now the cat crashed out. You know what I'm saying? And maybe just, because like I said, it was in cold blood. Like, it was on cameras. It was on each side of the whole thing. So let's say even if it was an inside job, it's like, bruh, like, can you do it?
But I mean, but see, that's what I'm saying, right? Like, again, do you mean to tell me, again, you can't even run a red light? They get your license plate.
Mm-hmm.
He makes it out of the largest populated city in the United States, I believe, right? New York City is the largest populated, like one of, like it's top three.
That in LA. That in LA.
It's top, right? It's top three.
Yeah, they're close.
So like, you make it out with over 50,000 cameras. You make it out. Nobody sees shit.
No.
And you get identified by your eyebrows.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and that is that part that makes me smell that say this is foul. And again, when I go back to how you said, yes, man, it's so conveniently lining up. But it's just like, for years they were saying the government had something to do with Malcolm X and Martin Luther King. And they was like, no. King had people wanting to kill him. Malcolm X fell out with the nation. They wanted to kill him. And then we find out years later, oh, yeah, no, they actually did. But it just conveniently lined up. You already got enemies. Yeah. You already got people that don't like you. You already had death threats made against you, so nobody's going to question when something happens because it's just so lining up perfectly. You know what I'm saying? And it's the same thing with this situation. It's like, oh, well, he's got this injury already. All you got to do is find somebody who has a grievance with somebody that you're trying to get rid of. Everything's going to line up. But again, we can't take the chance of you growing a conscience. We can't take the chance of you changing your mind, selling your story. So we got to eliminate you before you can flip the narrative or you can tell on us. And like I said, now, if Luigi ends up doing his whole life in jail, I stand corrected. But I would not be surprised in the next 6 to 12 months that he conveniently, what my boy say in The Godfather, if my son gets hit by a car, if he gets struck by lightning, if he slip on a banana peel, he said, I'm gonna hold some of y'all in this room responsible.
Yeah.
I don't believe in that twist of fate accident stuff. Something happened. So again, if he hangs himself in his cell, if he ODs on some fentanyl, you know what I'm saying? If he put the gun to his head or something like that, oh man, it's this guy who killed this CEO. He takes his own life. It's so sad. All I'm saying is, just look at the history of stuff. Even Marilyn Monroe. Yeah. It's like she got all this information that the Kennedys had shared with her, and you conveniently, and even one of the doctors was like, it ain't even possible for somebody to take that many pills. Like in order for you to do that, at some point you would have passed out from taking a certain amount of them. Yeah. You wouldn't have been able to continue to just constantly no. They killed a person. You just put all these pills because they're not a medical person, and nobody's gonna question. It's like, oh well, she used to pop pills anyway, so yeah, she probably did OD. Nobody questions it.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be interesting, man, because I think this is gonna set the alarm with the whole insurance companies, because the insurance companies they've been making bank for years, but then now, I think with this whole thing, it's going to put the eyes on just how corrupt even that industry has been, you know what I mean, just even for even the past 10 years, because even if you look at it legislation-wise, Bush, the one that kind of brought it in with some of his stuff that he was saying, Obama kind of re-engineered it and made it, you know what I'm saying, kind of what it is. Trump had his chance to do something, but he kind of left it alone. So on the other side of it, beyond it being, you know what I'm saying, what people may call conspiracy, I think this whole thing can really, you know what I'm saying, expose more that's going on in the inside of the stuff and make some changes of it. Because you know what I mean? Like I said, I have UHC, so I know, you know, some of the clan and had 4 kids. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So I know the medical bills that we still have and how that compared to when we had DJ. And so when we had the twins and some of the stuff they just marked off and kept behind and kept marking it up, you know what I mean? So it's foul, bro. And so anybody, and I've heard stories about people that, you know, had insurance, you know, issues and where they just cut them off and didn't, and you know, this dude had a heart attack and they denied his claim for whatever reason. You know what I mean? So saying that wasn't under the claim of medical, benefits that they had. So I think this could be a good thing to kind of further expose just the industry period, because we talked about the stuff going on through COVID. You know what I'm saying? The stuff that was been going on, especially with the insurances, they get a kick up 50,000, 100,000 every time that they get marked up for being in that disease.
Right.
You know what I mean? So the insurance company has something to do with that. Not only that, but the hospital. So I just think it could be a big, I want to say like a Rico situation to pull everything back inside.
Well, I mean, and again, you know, I like how you gave the caveat, like, because you said people will say it's conspiracy, but like, what happened? Was it the beginning of last season? Well, what happened to one of our videos?
You talking about the one that they took down?
Right. And so now at the time, how many subscribers did? Because we done went up since then.
Yeah.
But about how many subscribers would you say we had then?
At that point, maybe 200 something, maybe.
Yeah, no. It was like almost 5.
Okay.
But we've seen prominent podcasts have all type of controversial stuff on and whatever. They don't get no videos taken down. Mm-hmm. Millions of people. You know why? Because they're not spreading misinformation. They're saying stuff that people want to hear or that everything is on. But you take this, and I say little in the sense of that this is neither one of our main jobs.
Right.
We both got 2 or 3 other responsibilities before we do this. Now, I'm not gonna lie. If we could do this all day, would I much rather do this?
No doubt.
Where I could dress like Jake from State Farm and I ain't got to hop in and out the mail truck every day? You already know it.
Yeah.
But so like when I say little, I'm not saying it because I'm denigrating or downgrading where we are. I mean little in the sense of in the grand scheme of our priorities. Mm-hmm. It is a priority, but it's not number one. You know what I'm saying? Like you got the Most High, you got family, you got your main job, probably then your extended family, because now your immediate family ain't your mom and your brothers and sisters no more. Yeah. Your immediate family is your wife and your kids now.
Right.
Now, mom and your brothers and sisters, they fall into extended family because they're not your primary responsibility. Mm-hmm. So then them, and then probably this. Right? So, like, this is at best 5.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because if Zarina call you on a Tuesday and she got an emergency, you going to hit me up and be like, hey, we need to reschedule.
Right.
If you're working, you're going to hit me up and say, we got to reschedule. When the kids get sick, you're going to hit me up. And if you fasting, you're going to say, hey, but now, if somebody say, hey, JB, we doing this photo shoot down, you might reschedule with them.
Yeah. You
see what I'm saying? So now, again, we're small on the grand scheme of things. But they remove our video. Mm-hmm. Today, a few hours ago. Yeah. I get a notification on Instagram. And you know I just post. I post our stuff. But if I see little videos I post, one of the videos I posted, they said they notified and say we had to remove it because you had some damaging images on there that may be harmful. What damaging images?
We talking about stuff you put like in your stories?
Yeah.
One of them?
Yeah.
Which one was it?
It was one. So this name is going to sound familiar. The first name is not. His name was Dr. Leroy Kellogg. Did any one of those names sound familiar to you?
Kellogg does.
What do you think that has to do with?
The Bang Bang?
No. I'm saying the name. The name.
Oh, you talking about the company, the cereal company?
Yeah, exact. Same guy.
Yeah. Okay.
Same guy.
Okay.
So he was one of the, I'm not going to say fathers, but he was a big supporter of the eugenics movement in America. Which eugenics is basically selective breeding. You can eliminate a lot of birth defects and you can create a master race by selectively breeding. And so you weed out the inferior people. And who are the inferior people? People who may have mental disabilities, people who may be of other races or ethnicities. Like that, he was big on that.
Okay.
So he did not even consummate his marriage because he was big on the selective breeding and everything like that. He created this facility where they were castrating people, where they were performing stuff, where they were removing ovaries out of women, where they were castrating men, doing chemical castration, like all of this stuff. Actually, the cereal that he was creating, he was trying to create a cereal that would keep people from masturbating. That is actually where Kellogg's cornflakes came from. But his family members and other people that was with him was like, hey, we can make money off of this. Henceforth, the cereal company, that's what they started doing with the cereal. They made money off of that. But the damaging part is that the person who was mostly influenced by this master race, we're better than everybody else. I'll give you a hint because you're going to get it. Like, again, this guy was born in like the 1850s. He lived to like the mid 1900s or whatever. But he influenced somebody in the early 1900s who took up that philosophy of selective breeding and the master race, said that his race was better than everybody else's race. As a matter of fact, we got to kill and eliminate everybody who's not like us, because they not like us. Guy who had a little mustache. Like I'm thinking like he almost disrupted the whole world. Yeah. And he got his game from an American guy that we all probably got a box of his cereal down there. Yeah. And I get flagged, and they say we got to remove this because it's damaging images and you're spreading.
So they did remove it?
They did, and so I sent the thing back for the review, and like an hour later they sent me a message like we apologize, our machine made a mistake and da 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 da. Yeah. I'm like, so now again, when you talk about, I'm not gonna say that we are big on that, but when you take somebody who at the time we barely got 500 subscribers, and you're flagging our video only because we're telling people, do your due diligence. If you decide to do it, don't let them fearmonger you into do it. Do it because that's what you want to do, and you're confident. You prayed about it, whatever your process is. No, we spread misinformation. Yeah. A guy like, I don't even know how many followers I got. Now, again, people look at my stories and stuff like that, but I ain't telling nobody to do nothing. If I see something that I think, you should research or that maybe pique your curiosity, maybe bring some levity, make you laugh. You know what? Y'all need to laugh today. Like when I be posting my boy who always be doing the, cartoons. So imagine you Superman and you wear your drawers on the outside. Like, that makes me laugh. I figure that might make somebody else laugh too. Let me share that. But you're going to pull something that could possibly make people want to go research and say, let me see if there's any validity into that. Yeah. And so now here we are again, because what you put on there, you put it up on the screen for people to read. So it ain't just take our word for it. Right. You got it up there for people to see. We didn't even pronounce. We spelled the man's name right.
Right. At least I pronounced it.
You see what I'm saying? And we pronounced it the best way we knew based on our understanding of grammar. But now we getting flagged, and we on now we close to 700. But again, we ain't even got 1,000 subscribers yet. Yeah. But y'all flagging little old us. Right. But what they say, hit dogs holler. Oh yeah. That's all I'm saying.
They definitely holler. And plus, when that happened, you get shadow banned. And so for like a year or so, we were shadow banned, because before that time, when we had that 3-6 video, when that joint was coming out, about almost 8,000-9,000 views. Right. And then not soon after, a few months later, we get that strike. And so now, our stuff is not really,
we don't even come in the algorithm,
right. So that's part of the game, unfortunately. But I wanted to read something here that he was talking about Luigi here. The manifesto. You mentioned the manifesto. Right. It said during an interview Tuesday on NBC's Today Show, Tish, I guess the lady's name of the interview, said the manifesto revealed an anti-corporatist sentiment and a lot of issues with the healthcare industry. But as to particular specific motive that'll come as this investigation continues to unfold over the next weeks and months, the NYPD commissioner says. So to NBC News and the New York Times, each citing an unnamed senior law enforcement official, reported that the handwritten document read in part, these parasites had it coming. Saying what the guy Luigi was saying. So this whole thing, when it unfolds, if it unfolds, and I believe it will, I think this is going to be a big part of this, the whole exposure season we talked about earlier in the year.
I hope so.
You know what I'm saying? I really do. I think this is going to be a part of that. And to me, I think things are just kind of breaking down. So they can be built back up in a proper way, because like I said, either this was a definite inside job, or this cat was just a privileged dude that ran into some adversity and didn't really know how to handle himself when this stuff happened. You know what I mean? So we definitely want to keep an eye on this. This is going to be interesting. I think throughout the whole 2025. I think because I think this whole thing, because they denied his bail. The judge said he ain't getting out. You know what I mean? So we kind of knew that was going to happen. So this is going to be interesting. Let's go to this next one. This is our boy. You know what I mean? Jigga. You know what I mean?
Jigga man.
jayz. You know, we said this coming down the pike, talking about this whole Diddy thing. Well, a lot of people, I'm not sure we exactly said it, but we knew a lot of people was going to be pulled into this whole thing with Diddy. And the name a lot of people said initially was jayz, because they've been longtime friends. They've been in videos together. They go to Rock Nation brunches. He's been in his parties and, you know, white parties and stuff like that. So this is interesting. I think, let me just read some of this stuff with jayz. Let's see. Now, it says a woman who alleges she was sexually, or let me say SA'd. You know what I mean? Since we on this tube here. So she was SA'd by Sean Diddy Combs, has amended her lawsuit to include allegations that she was also assaulted by jayz at the same party. Okay, now let's pause on that for a moment. So you saying a woman first came out and said Diddy was a part of it. So now she spent the block.
Right.
And now saying, oh, no, it was this guy.
The Jigga man.
Jigga, you know, he had the big nose, big lips. Well, you know, it was a Jigga. I forgot about him. You know, so, you know, that alone right there kind of caused a pause. You know what I mean? And it says the lawsuit was initially filed against Combs in October, but on Sunday, this past Sunday, the woman added Sean Carter, the rapper and businessman known as jayz, as a defendant in the civil lawsuit.
14 months later.
14 months later. And it says Carter is the first celebrity to be accused of SA in connection to Combs. In a statement addressed to CNN, Carter called the allegations so heinous in nature that I implore you to file a criminal complaint, not a civil one. Whomever you would commit such a crime against a minor should be locked away. Would you not agree?
Hold on, now I got, because I actually, I'm gonna read the whole statement, because I actually put.
Oh yeah, it was more. Okay.
So basically, he started off by saying, and I didn't know this part. He said, my lawyer received a blackmail attempt.
Yeah.
Called a demand letter from a lawyer, and he has that in quotations, named Tony Busby. What he had calculated was the nature of these allegations and public scrutiny would make me want to settle. No, sir, it had the opposite effect. It made me want to expose you for the fraud you are in a very public fashion. So no, I will not give you one red penny. These allegations, which is where you were just starting off, these allegations are so heinous in nature that I implore you to file a criminal complaint, not a civil one. Whomever would commit such a crime against a minor should be locked away. Would you not agree? These alleged victims would deserve real justice if that were the case. This lawyer, who I have done a bit of research on, seems to have a pattern of these type of theatrics. I have no idea how you come to be such a deplorable human, Mr. Busby, but I promise you I have seen your kind many times over. I'm more than prepared to deal with your type. You claim to be a Marine. Marines are known for their valor. You have neither honor nor dignity. My only heartbreak is for my family. My wife and I will not sit our children down. My wife and I will have to sit our children down, one of whom is at the age where her friends will surely seek the press and ask questions about the nature of these claims and explain the cruelty and greed of people. I mourn yet another loss of innocence. Children should not have to endure such at their young age. It is unfair to have to try to understand inexplicable degrees of malice meant to destroy families and human spirit. My heart and support goes out to true victims in the world who have to watch how their life story is dressed in costume for profitability by this ambulance chaser in a cheap suit. You have made a terrible error in judgment, thinking that all celebrities are the same. I'm not from your world. I'm a young man who made it out the project of Brooklyn. We don't play these type of games. We have very strict codes and honor. We protect children. You seem to exploit people for personal gain. Only your network of conspiracy theories, fake psychics, will believe the idiotic claims you have levied against me. If not for this seriousness surrounding harm to kids would be laughable. I look forward to showing you just how different I am.
Wow. Now, people may be wondering, what is this whole thing alleged? What they're talking about? And this says, the woman who was identified as Jane Doe says she was 13 years old at the time. She was allegedly assaulted by Combs and Carter at an after party following the VMA, which is the Video Music Awards, in 2000. The woman alleged she began to feel woozy after consuming a drink at the party and wandered into a nearby bedroom. The woman alleges Carter, I'm going to say the word that rhymes with it, taped her first, followed by Combs. The woman says she hit Combs and ran out of the party, according to the amended suit. Carter was identified in the initial lawsuit as Celebrity A. Now, personally, me looking in depth of it, I think this BS. You know what I mean? But this is what I do believe. I think the people that are actually charging Jay-Z, they know this what this is, and so they want him to pay attention to put all your focus on this. But we coming around with something else, you know what I'm saying, that's really going to stick, right? Because, like I said, this girl came out in October, said it was just Diddy. So now she want to spin the block, I think, to get Jay-Z distracted, you know what I'm saying? So now, let's say in 2 or 3 months, now the big hammer, I think, is going to come down on Jay. This is what I think. I don't think this is going to stick particularly just because of just what happens. And like I said, we're talking about 24, 25 years ago. Statute of limitation, you know, that's a great line. But I do think that this is just something to distract Jay and his lawyers to put all their resources over here. So you're not going to see, or even maybe won't even pay the stuff that's really coming down the pike, that's really going to get them.
And you have to keep in mind, too, so now, I'm not going to say whether he's innocent or guilty as it pertains to this. What I will say, as a celebrity, he gave celebrities a master class in how you handle situations like that. You don't negotiate with terrorists. You don't settle. I believe it was Michael Jackson who said that the mistake he made was the first time he got accused of some allegations, that he settled, and that opened the floodgates. Because now anybody who's been over to your crib, you know what I'm saying, can make, now again, anytime somebody can make an allegation, it's always a little bit of truth to every rumor. And what I mean by that is it's not necessarily truth that they even SA'd this woman, but she may have been at the party and seen them. You get what I'm saying? In order for her to even make the accusation, she had to be around. So, is it possible that she was around? Definitely. Yeah. That's what I mean by it's some truth to it. Now, could it have been Diddy? That's possible. Could it have been Jay? That's possible. Is it accurate? Is it valid? We don't know that. That remains to be seen. But again, when you are a celebrity and you get accused, the best thing that you can do is to just go ahead and when people know that you're willing to fight it, and basically, and I know it's some kind of way they can do it, but it's like, you know, if it don't go to trial or whatever, your lawyer got to cover my lawyer fees. I guarantee you niggas will stop chasing ambulances then.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't believe that anybody, if you're going to defame and drag my name, I don't believe that anybody, unless it's an actual child, I don't believe that anybody that's over the age of 18, like, you should have to say who you are when you're accusing somebody. Because if I get to get dragged, then you get to get dragged too. We both get to get dragged. Let's get dragged together. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Totally so, like, agree. I don't, and to your point, I think that, a lot of times what happens is that it is a distraction thing. Like, I'm going to get you looking over here. You're so busy fighting this over here. You don't see the press coming. What I can say is that it was rumored and speculated some years ago when he and R. Kelly got into it. If you recall, they had a CD they did together called "The Best of Both Worlds."
Dude,
Part of the
definitely.
reason why they fell out was because Jay did not rock with Robert's alleged activity with children.
Mm-hmm. I remember that.
And so people's like, oh, well, Jay tried to holler at Aaliyah and da-da-da-da and that. Okay, like, let's go in context.
All right.
At that particular point in time when they were around each other, Aaliyah was like 21.
Uh-huh.
So now when you're in those parties, like let's keep it a book. All of us have been to a bar. We've been to a club. And it's set up for it to be predatory, to be honest. Because how old do women have to be to get into the club most of the time?
21.
21. In some places,
18. Depend, yeah.
In some places, 18. How old men got to be, though?
It depends. Men, at least got to be 21. 21
In some
or 25.
cases, 25.
25.
So
it
now,
depends on what
if I'm 25 in a place where it's 18-year-olds there, that's a 7-year age gap.
And some of them 18-year-olds are actually 16.
It's 16, 17.
You know what I mean? So, yeah.
So I'm already... And so now when I'm in here, because I got to be an adult to get in here, we're enjoying ourselves. In some cases, we either are on some type of spirits or the herbal essence. Yeah. We not checking IDs. Mm-hmm. And so now keep in mind in this celebrity world where, again, these are adults all doing adult things at adult parties. She's of age. I'm 27, 28. She's 21. We not sitting up here looking like, oh, my God, we all can drink in this place.
Yeah.
We all partying. We all getting high. This is not a place for moral platitudes to sit in. Now, if we are at some type of school or church or something, that's different.
Yeah.
You at a place where we are expected to debauch and act a fool as long as everybody is of legal age to consent. If the nigga was 30 and she was 20, like they both grown.
Mm-hmm.
And me being a girl dad, having daughters, more daughters than most of the guys I know.
That's true.
Like, I'm going to definitely say, okay, well, look, these are things you need to be aware of if you're dating somebody that much older than you. But as, like, having adult children, it's like, look, you got to live with the consequences of your decision. So think hard before you make the decision because this is your life. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? So now, I will say, he has a history of being against certain types of behavior. So for him to say that we protect children, I do believe that. Now, at the same time, it's been speculated, but, I mean, again, Foxy said they ain't have no improper relationship. So unless she come forward and say they had one, if she say they didn't, you got to take her word for it. Now, Lil' Kim never denied her and Biggie had one.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But again, they was closer to the same age. But I'm just saying, Foxy said her and Jay. And the only speculation we got is that line from Ether. You know what I'm saying? But outside of that, it ain't like, he was messing with Blue Cantrell. Blue Cantrell was grown as hell. Becky with the good hair was grown as hell. Yeah. Whether or not, him and Beyonce got an age gap, but she was grown as hell. I mean, so.
It's a lot. I don't know if you saw, the internet be going crazy once they put out that whole story and they had a picture of Jay-Z and Beyonce and some more family members, and they had the allegation under it. It said Tina Knowles liked the Tina Knowles liked the video. I mean, not the video, but the picture and the story, right? So, and I think it's documented that the family, Beyonce, all of Beyonce's family is not fond of Jay. You know what I'm saying? More than likely because of the public stuff that she made the album about, Lemonade and all that stuff to put their business out there, in which we saw also when Jay-Z got beat up by Solange, you know what I'm saying, in the elevator. So, like I said, I don't think this is probably going to particularly stick just because of the certain allegations and, like I said, 25 years ago. Now, the only thing is about like 13, you know what I'm saying, with whoever, the young lady,
At a Diddy party.
At a Diddy party. Yeah, at a Diddy party. So
No, it was after the American Music
no,
Awards.
it was after the VMAs.
Oh yeah,
I didn't read it after VMAs.
So like
Radio City Music Hall in Manhattan in 2000.
So it was at the Radio City Music Hall, or was it at a party afterwards?
It was an after party.
So why the fuck were you at the damn after party?
Yeah. Who
the fuck let you in the door at the after party?
Diddy might have let her in.
Possibly. But I'm saying,
but yeah.
13 look like fucking 13.
Yeah, we talking about 2000 though, Rag.
No, I mean like when I was a teenager when I saw the R. Kelly video, but I remember watching and I'm like, she looked like somebody that would be around. Like was she developed? Yes, but her face. The girl looked 13, 14 in the face.
Yeah. Now we talking like, look, we getting a little personal here, but I was at TSU. I was a freshman or sophomore, and this young lady was, you know what I'm saying, pursuing me. It was vice versa going, and like this girl was around the same age as this young lady. Mm-hmm. But if you looked at her, Rag, Keenan can vouch for this. You know what I'm saying? She looked all of 18 or 19.
Okay, but again,
and she was the age of the same Jane Doe. So I'm saying it, and we talking about back in the day, like, you know, back in the day, you know, we had girls we went to high school with.
Like I show you where I went to high school.
Yeah,
she looked.
She
still looked the same now, but she looked like that as a 10th grader, and we was like, ain't no fucking way she's in the same grade as us.
Yeah.
Cause she was like the baddest teachers she was badder than the baddest teachers we had.
Man.
And then she didn't wear regular clothes to school either. Like this chick was coming in like the skirts and dresses with the heels on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like she looked like old girl off Basic Instinct like every day. You know, like, and it's Monday. That's how I'm coming to school. Like what? Like,
yeah. And so that's what I'm saying. I mean, like,
I get it.
This is back in 2000. Like this is our era. And so we go into high school with girls in our junior and senior classes that got dudes that's 25, 26. You know what I'm saying? In the streets, making bills, going to the D on the weekend, taking them. Like, so, like I said, and now in today's time, like, I don't know if they built exactly the same, but it's like 13 back in 99, 2000. Like, a lot of, especially here in Memphis, I'm sure it was nationwide, you know what I mean, could be taken for an 18, 19-year-old, especially like you said, when you on that drink or on other substances that Diddy has been allegedly been a part of and been partaking. You know what I'm saying?
I get it. I'm not going to say that's not. I mean, for me, I guess the thing is, I don't know. Like when I think of that, and I guess, you know, from being a teacher and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? Like being around kids, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm looking at them and I know the difference between.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm kind of able to and I can look at them and sometimes, to your point, you know, even now doing my job, I'm everywhere delivering these business and stuff like that, and you know, like I hear all types of stuff like, oh, Unc with it, or you know what I'm saying? What's up, Mr. Man? I tell like, man, stop it, you a baby.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, I'm 21. Like, yeah, you know what? No, I'm good. Yep. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
It's so I get it.
I get it.
Again, at the same time, I don't know how somebody that's 13 that is in this situation. Number one, how did you even get in the door? But then, to your point, you know, like 14 months, you just now remember 14 months later, that Celebrity A was there also, and he was one of the ones that, you know what I'm saying, like, oh, he did it too, you know what I'm saying, like, it was this person as well, like, I just...
And these are prominent figures at the time, 99, 2000, Diddy at the time was probably bigger than Jay at that time, I think, or was, you know...
Well, Jay was on the come up then. But
he was on the... He wasn't,
but Diddy was a bigger celebrity.
Yeah, Diddy was bigger. So, you know, could she have had convenient amnesia? But at the end of the day, like I said, I don't think this whole thing is going to stick just because of how it came out. But I think this is just like the warm-up, you know what I mean, that the people that are a part of the Diddy alleged Rico stuff that's really trying to just dangle that carrot in front of Jay and his legal team to really kind of get out their game and get something else out here probably within the next 3 to 5 months that's really going to probably, you know, catch them.
I mean, again, like I just like I said, I call foul on this stuff. This is just so you see. I'm not gonna post this on social media, but that look like that in 10th grade.
Wow.
Look like that in 10th grade, and still look the same. Like it's different, you know. Had kids, but like keep in mind, this is a couple of kids in the game, at least 3 kids in the game now. But like look like that.
Yeah.
And we were in freaking. You know what I'm saying? Like and that was the way.
Yeah.
Coming to school dressed like, you know, that like, oh, okay, this is just how I dress.
Yeah.
And so now we're looking like we did not believe, like we was like, hold up, like how old are you for real? Like tell the truth, you failed a couple times, right? You kind of slow.
Right.
Like you got held back some
Right.
years. And so to your point that we knew people that kind of looked. But now again,
This stuff
that's
happens.
one.
Yeah.
That was one.
But it's a couple, it could be a couple examples. And so it's, like I said, I don't put it out there. I just think it sounds horrible now in 2024 when you talk. Wow. Yeah.
No, like I said, and those are different ones. So like it's at least 4 or 5.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But that is still, but like I said, and that was the same, but it was the same.
Yeah.
And so to your point, I get what you're saying when you're, but then see, people got to remember though, to your defense,
It could be 1-on-1.
you
1-on-1.
had people that graduated high school early.
Yeah.
You had people, this programs here where you can take college classes and you still be in high school. So now you're on campus with 18, 19, 20, 21. You might be 15.
Yeah.
And now if you like what you see, you're not finna tell this handsome guy that you like that's driving this car, and you ain't finna say I'm 15.
Yeah.
You finna say I'm 18. I'm a freshman.
Yeah.
But like, and we've seen it done. Like I've had cousins who've done it. Like you said, we had girls we went to school with, and we sitting up there looking at them like, now nigga, you know damn well you in the 10th grade just like us. And we'll get mad at you if you say something. You better not say nothing.
Yeah. But you also got to look at it too. 99 too, the culture was different. You know what I'm saying? Like we was, I can just speak for myself. Like, man, if you were willing, you know what I'm saying, we were able. You know what I mean? So if you look the part, and like I said, everything sounds, you got to put it back into the context of the time, in the time capsule that it's in. 99, 2000. We know Juvie.
If we being
know
for real, a
everything
lot
else.
of us wouldn't be here. Because our great granddaddy was 25 and great grandma was 17. We got a great uncle or great auntie.
Right.
He was getting ready to go to the military. He 22, she 16.
Yeah.
And he get married because it's certain benefits and stuff you get from the military if you're married or whatever. And so this is a girl in the neighborhood. This is a girl, you and her brother, y'all grew up together. And so you're going to marry the little sister. This is a girl from the church. You marry her so you get these military benefits.
Yeah.
Because you finna go to war and everything like that. And she sit up and real live wait on you. Or you consummate the marriage and you come back from war and you got a whole baby. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what it was. Like, that is the way life was.
Elvis Presley, who he married.
You know what
How
I'm saying?
old was she?
Right.
Was she like super young?
Right, yeah, no, that was stupid.
Yeah, that was a lot.
diabolical.
That was a lot.
Him and Jerry Lee Lewis, they was diabolical. Like, I want to say Priscilla was like 14.
She was 14.
And Jerry Lee Lewis, like, she was like 13.
Yeah. So, like I said, it's no quote unquote condoning, but to the other to their defense, the people that are trying to sue and put the lawsuits out there, 99, especially 2000, it was a different mindset. It was a different time. A lot of stuff that flew, you know what I'm saying, back then don't flow now. You know what I mean? Like, if you looked the part, if you looked like you were of age, you know what I'm saying? If you looked like it, and the girl I was just telling you about, I knew that I was hollering at the time, like, she hollered at the Memphis State players at that, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you look like that at a certain age, you go after, you know what I'm saying, what your body look like or what you know what I'm saying? So it's not out of the realm of possibility. It's just, it's hard to look at that in the lens of 2024 because pretty much now, if you 13, 14, you gonna, probably look that part for the most part, right? You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I do think this is gonna be kind of swept under the rug as far as with Jay-Z. But I think, my guy need to be careful.
Yeah, no, definitely. And like I said, I mean, I just, to your point again, going back to that, like, I do believe it is some culpability that needs to be there in certain situations. But then also, too, like you pointed out, if somebody is deceptive, if somebody is not honest, you know what I'm saying? Like if we go to the bank to try, like, PPP loans, the people who got in trouble for the PPP loans was not anybody who gave the loans out. It was the people who lied about whatever they lied about to get the loans. If you come up in there and you was being deceptive to get the loan, and I'm going over all your paperwork and everything, I'm going to give you the loan. Or I'm going to pass, okay, well, you pass my inspection. You go to JB and you see if you pass his inspection. Now, we're not going to get in trouble for giving the loan out. You're going to get in trouble for lying about the loan.
Yeah.
So how is it that you have people who not honestly, but purposely are deceptive about how old they are to get access to places, to hang around older siblings or cousins or whatever.
Yeah.
To be at places they ain't got no business being. Yeah. And so now when we are in these places, and let's keep it a buck, because we've all been to the strip club, we've all been to bars, we've all been to clubs, we've all been to parties. We're not fucking checking ID.
Yeah. Nah.
How many times?
You talking about when you in the club?
In
when
the
you
days
talking?
where you went to the strip club, how many times was you asking the stripper, like, let me see your ID?
Never.
But in hindsight, now that we're past that phase where that was something we was doing all the time, in hindsight, it's a possibility you might have got a lap dance from a 17-year-old.
Yeah.
Now, is that your fault?
No.
Because you had to show your ID to get in the motherfucker and buy for 2 drinks, even if you wasn't drinking.
But we didn't care.
True, but at the same time, though, if somebody had told you prior to going, and you're 25, hey, I got a 17-year-old that want to give you a lap dance, you're gonna be, hold on now.
Yeah.
It's like, now it would have been some dudes that would have been like, okay, yes, those people exist, but it's a lot of us that would have been like, if you tell me this going into the situation. Like it's a lot of us that mess with chicks that had something. And we go to the clinic and we sit there, we nervous. They giving us them pamphlets. How you know you got chlamydia, how you know you got syphilis. You might have herpes if.
Yeah.
And when you get that call back or they tell you to come back and they got your blood work and that just say negative, oh, you boy. You taking everybody to Wendy's to get the 4 for 4.
It was the famous
blue
pill at TSU.
Exactly. And
blue pill.
And check this out. And then you're not mad about the experience. You glad that you got away unscathed.
Yeah.
Because you looking at it like, man, my dick still got wet and I ain't even get that package. You're only mad if it's burning when you pee.
Yeah.
You're only mad if you know what I'm saying, you pee and you like, what the hell is that down there? Like, that's when you're mad. If you're itching and you can't stop scratching, that's when you're mad.
Yeah.
But when that junk come back negative, and then what's your story? Oh, I would not. When I was hitting it, she ain't have it then. So now again,
make it sound good.
Ain't nobody mad about the lap dance. You're only mad if you find out after the fact that she was 17.
Yeah.
But when you got the lap dance and she did everything and was biting you on your ear and doing all this, and keep in mind, I know about the strip club because I was in all of them. You're only mad when you find out. Yeah. And I can honestly say, fortunately for me, I ain't never found out that nobody was underage. As far as I know, every time I've been, everybody was how old they were supposed to be.
Well, but
I'm not finna go back and ask to be searching for no file records either.
Yeah. Now 17 for me, just to be honest, at that time was like right at the tip. Like you may hesitate a little bit, but 17 was like, hey, 6 months, you'll be, 18 or whatever. Now, when you get down to, lower than that, 16,
especially if you're
15,
in your early 20s, then you're not looking at it like that.
You're not.
But today,
17-year-old.
But today, if somebody told you they were 17,
oh,
if
yeah.
you was able to go do that today, and somebody said they were 17, you'd be like, man, if you don't get the fuck out of my face.
Yeah, like I said, that could be my daughter. At that, you know, at this
I'm
point.
saying.
So yeah, I get that.
Hell, that is my daughter right now. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. So, but yeah, now and this whole thing, and just to say with the whole Jay, everything that you read with Jay, he was supposed to say. You know what I'm saying? If him or his legal team came out and said anything else, wouldn't be
when has somebody else ever said that?
Said what?
To the emphatic way that he expressed it.
Yeah. Now, that's unique as far as how he expressed it. You're not getting a penny. Because honestly, really, if you look at a lot of cases, especially with celebrities, they don't even deal with this stuff. They just pay you your money.
Right.
And just, let you go on about your business and you don't hear about it. You know what I'm saying? So this is a little unique to the degree. Well, it's not unique because it's dealing with Diddy. So,
but not only that, but you got to keep in mind though, when you're dealing with somebody, and we don't know how deep he was in the street, but you're talking about somebody who really was. And I think back to that song 1-900 Hustler. And he said, if you like my advice, we can meet and discuss price. And FYI, I've never been robbed in my life.
Forget about that.
You see what I'm saying? And he's saying like, so don't think you finna get over on me. You know what I'm saying? Because and so he still got that same mentality. Like, I ain't giving you shit.
Yeah.
So like, if you think you gonna get up, and he said at the beginning, you started out by trying to blackmail me. So like, okay, well let's go and go to court then.
Yeah, that's gonna be interesting. But I don't think that's gonna stick personally. But when somebody come out with a lawsuit like that, you also got to think the money wise, right? So are you gonna spend this much money for putting this lawsuit on Jay and not have any type of evidence or anything, right? Because it's not like I can just say, hey, I'm gonna sue so and so because like I gotta have money to have my lawyer to not just file it, but just even potentially to go to court with it, right? So. It could go either way, but I personally, my opinion, I don't think it's going to stick with Jay. I think, you know what I'm saying, this is just, they just spent the block to kind of see what else they can kind of get out of the situation. But, they still going to be coming for him and for others that, has been, because I don't know if you heard, Diddy tried 3 times to get out. He's trying to get out on house arrest, and they denied him 3 times already, which... It's clearly because now house arrest with Diddy is like, that's where most of the stuff happened. So you know what I'm saying. So it's not like they're gonna send you back to the places that the incidents happened where they got the stuff. So on one hand, I'm like, nigga, they
and
not.
The irony is that Diddy said he wasn't going nowhere, and that just is not aging well.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it's gonna be interesting now. I do want to give an update on this whole Daystar allegation stuff. I don't know if you kind of been keeping up with it, but YouTuber Marcus Rogers, he kind of been coming out. He had an interview with the Lamb family, Jonathan Lamb and Susie Lamb, on his platform, and doing crazy numbers, almost 500,000 views and stuff. And then now after that, the president of Daystar and his mother, Joni Lamb, hit the same dude up to do an interview, but flew him out or told him to come out to Daystar to do the interview and stuff there. So, it's a lot to say about that, but I'm gonna keep it short. I just think, and also I think about this too.
We on live. Go in.
We on okay.
Go in.
Now. The whole thing with this is I think that Marcus Rogers, he's a YouTuber. He's also a pastor, a preacher, and all that stuff, right? Where's
his church?
Chicago.
Okay.
His church is in Chicago. So he's a truth teller. A lot of stuff that he says, I validate with him. I verify. I think he's anointed in kind of what he does, but he's not an interviewer. And so Joni Land, the people of Daystar, they denied everybody else because you know all the stations are reaching out, trying to.
Alrighty, good job, Ray.
Technical difficulty, but we good. But now, all the people reached out, probably CNBC, NBC, ABC, and she denied all of them, right? But she
took the guy that's not the interview.
She took the dude that's not, privy to, and like at the end of the day, like what we do, even when we have guests, we do maybe a little interviewing, but we're more so conversation. You know what I'm saying? And so interviewing is a skill, bro. You know what I'm saying? And so these people at Daystar, especially Joni Lamb, has been in the game for decades.
Oh, yeah, no, she knows how to control that narrative.
Right. Big media experience, know how to, deal with the big networks and stuff like that. So she chooses the dude that's a preacher online that has no experience with interviewing. Like, it's a skill, bro.
Now, what I will say now, I'm not going to let you shit on us or yourself because in watching, and shout out to the Preacher Man podcast, by the way.
Salute.
In me watching the times where you've had interviews on there, you can. A lot of times it's not. No, what I'm saying is you're good at interviewing. Mm-hmm. What I'm saying is that a lot of times we're not dealing with people who have allegations.
That's different.
So
yeah,
you're asking questions that they don't expect you to ask, but it's not something that, and we always give a caveat with anybody who comes on. Is it anything uncomfortable?
Right.
That you don't want to talk? Is it something that you don't want us to mention? And we've had a couple times where people said like don't.
Yeah.
And shout out to my god sister Roberta. Like when she was on here, she said I don't want to talk about this, and then the conversation went that way. And she was just like, you know what? She did what my head say, like no F's given.
Yeah.
She was like, okay, you know what? Let's go and talk about it.
Yeah.
And so, and I will say, I believe I'm a hell of an interviewer.
Yeah.
But again, we ain't dealt with nobody where it's like
some real deal.
You got a scandal.
Yep.
And I believe it's certain people who have avoided trying to come on here because they thought
you was gonna talk about certain.
When they get on there, man, JB and Shay gonna eviscerate them. Like, no, we're gonna whatever you comfortable talking about, we'll talk about. Right. Yeah. But I just said that like so don't act like we don't do what the fuck we do.
Right. No.
But to your point, it is more conversational.
No. And so and like I said, I give Marcus Rogers credit, but I think he gonna be out his lane because when you're an interviewer, like the person that interviewed Kamala Harris on Fox that time was skillful because, like I said, as much as people say Kamala's incompetent, like she is smart. She knows how to control a narrative. She knows how to control an interview. And most of the interviews that she did, she wrapped circles around a lot of people because she knew how to, you know what I'm saying, do that. But Fox
she's just not a skilled politician.
Correct.
She's an intelligent woman. Yeah. But like to play that game, that's a different thing. I'm not gonna say it's a difference between chess and checkers, but it's like the difference between spades and poker.
Okay.
You got to like now spades is more complex than go fish. Mm-hmm. But like you got to be pretty sharp to play spades. Mm-hmm. But like poker is a completely different game.
That's different.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's a whole nother level.
Yeah.
And so like that's kind of the thing. But go ahead.
But now and the thing was, and I know this from experience, when Marcus Rogers was online a lot, not making excuses, but he was saying why he did what he did as far as trying to interview Joni Lamb. Basically, hey man, I had a lot of counselors, talked to a lot of pastors and doing all this, I didn't know whether I should do it, whether I should not do it. And I think with certain situations like this, we can over spiritualize stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh Lord, tell me, like, nigga, are you an interviewer? You feel me? Or did you spend X and Y, amount of time doing your homework in this? And that will tell you whether you need to do this or not. Not if necessarily the Lord done spoke to you. Tell like you have a certain skill set, and if it's on, the top of your head or not, kind of what you need to do. And so I just think that, you can be careful with that because I think the lady over at Daystar she a smooth talker. You know what I'm saying? And so, that you have to be careful with that. And so that whole Daystar allegation stuff is still kind of going on. It's still a live document. So it's gonna be interesting how that plans out, and you probably see some more.
Her and it's like, you've been struck by
Right.
a smooth criminal.
Yeah. So okay, now, Rag, talk to me about Hall of Famer Randy Moss and ESPN analyst, man. What he kind of going
man,
on?
so like, man, first of all, man, we send our thoughts and our prayers with Randy Moss and his family.
No doubt.
So he recently has temporarily resigned from his duties at ESPN due to an undisclosed illness. I know that within the past year or so, we've had several media personalities that have passed away from different ailments and things like that. We had a week where we didn't pod, and we kind of did some episodes that we had pre-recorded, but it was a young lady who was one that had recently passed away. She had a battle with like cancer. And so now we don't know. I'm not going to put anything on Randy that is not on him because it's been undisclosed.
Yeah.
And you know my thoughts about Randy. Like, he is number 2 all time in my book.
Yeah.
You know, like, there's only one in front of him. Now, if you just talk about talent number one.
Talent,
but like, just when you look at the totality of his career, his numbers, everything else, his production.
Yeah.
Like, it's only one guy in front of him. And then even with him, in my book, it being number 2, the 2 and the 3, depending on what you like, you can alternate. You know what I'm saying?
Between him and
T.O.
Yeah.
You can alternate depending on what you like.
Right,
but the top 3 is solidified. Number 1 is solidified.
Yeah, no
but
doubt.
2 and 3 is just depending on what you like. So you already know, I think very highly of him. He only spent, I think, a season and a half. He played a season and a half with my guys. You know, so I was definitely hoping he was going to get a ring when we went to Super Bowl, when Kaepernick was quarterbacking.
Yeah.
He almost had one twice because he made it to Super Bowl with New England. And that's the only time I rooted for the Patriots.
Yeah.
That's the only time I wanted them to win because I wanted Moss to get a Super Bowl ring. But what I was saying, the reason why when you asked me, you know, like about some topics that this stood out, because as men especially, and it's an old Patrice O'Neal joke. He's like, women, they know everything about their health. They can tell you everything that's going on with them, how sick they are. It's like men. Like, we ain't going to the doctor for shit. Like, we'll call our homeboy and be like, hey, you ever had your prostate fall out? And he was like, your homeboy be like, you got some duct tape? Like, just put some duct tape, like, duct tape it back. You'll be good. Like, that's kind of the way we do. You know what I'm saying? Like, unless we're debilitated, we're bedridden, we had to be wheeled out on the ambulance. Like, we ain't shit, man. We'll have a cough and not realize, you know, we'll be walking around with lung cancer for 27 years.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just like, oh, my cough acting up. Because we are not trying to go to no doctor. You know what I'm saying? We'll get up 8 times in the middle of the night and not know our prostate fucked up.
Right.
Like, we will do that. And so this stood out especially because as you get, you know, when you get 30, you get 35, you get 40 and beyond, like, as men, we have got to do a better job of eating right, exercising, but also at least knowing what we have going on with ourselves so that we can be proactive and not reactive. If you're fortunate enough as a man to know your dad and your granddad and your family history, and I know that we're both fortunate enough to be able to go back and do that. We kind of know certain things that run in our family, so we know, okay, how can I prevent heart disease? How can I prevent cancer? How can I prevent stroke? How can I prevent liver disease or kidney disease? Like diabetes. Like, we know certain stuff. So I know, like, okay, if diabetes runs in my family, I need to get more sugar from fruits and stuff like that and less desserts and candies and, you know, things of that nature, you know, or like if I know we got heart disease, like, okay, well, I don't need to eat as much red meat. You know, and I need to make sure I exercise properly. Like, it's certain things that we, especially in as what we consider racially black people, we got to do a better job of making sure we manage and stay on top of our health, because we only get one body. We don't get to redo this once it's over with. It's not like a video game where we get extra lives and one-ups. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's you get to do this one time. And I forget, I think it was Warren Buffett or somebody said that if we took care of our bodies like we take care of our cars, everybody would live to be 100.
Yeah, that's,
you know.
yeah, that's good, man. Because like I said, I've heard. I'm gonna read a little insert for what if people don't know what's going on with Randy Moss. Says here he's battling with health challenge. Randy Moss, the legendary Hall of Fame wide receiver, shook the football world a bit last week as he said he was stepping away from his duties on ESPN Sunday. NFL countdown to deal with a personal health challenge. Moss touched on that health challenge on December 1st during the broadcast where he was seen wearing sunglasses. Mm-hmm. He said he was battling something internal, though he did not get into the details. Says Moss briefly addressed the matter at the start of the show on December 1st. For nearly a decade, Randy has been an invaluable member of the team, constantly elevating Countdown with his insight and passion. He has ESPN's full support, and we look forward to welcoming him back when he is ready. So, yeah, given just a little information that we have, he's clearly, going through some stuff. And I know me growing up, I always looked at, cats like this, that seemingly has the world, on his fingertips. And you wonder, like, bro, like, hey, we got real problems. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
like,
right.
And so, but, you kind of look at their life and people that are wrestling with stuff internally or don't even know whose they are and can't make sense of things around them, whether that's baby mama drama, his kids and stuff like that, his wife or whatever, it can be a lot to handle. And so, and I always thought when he was on the roast with Tom Brady that time.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know what it was, but I didn't think he was himself. You know what I mean? Just for whatever that was for. Like
he did kind of like look a little bit different.
Yeah, I did have that thought. I think he had sunglasses on too when he went up there to speak or whatnot. So yeah, prayers out to Randy, man. Like at least he being honest about it. You know what I mean? Saying what he needs to do, the support and all that stuff. But it's just unfortunate that. The internet gonna internet and, people gonna speculate and do all this stuff. But it's not like he went off the rails or anything like in public that we know of. Mm-hmm. So yeah, hopefully he gets well, man, gets better.
And we don't want to put nothing on nobody, but again, like to your point, because he's still in his 40s.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, because he was at
99,
98. He was in the class of 98, right? So, like, you talking about
he's in the
22,
40s.
right? He ran the same age as
46, 47.
Right, like Charles Woodson, because they was all up for the Heisman that year. Charles Woodson, Peyton Manning, Ryan Leaf. Yeah. Like, one of the greatest, what I'm saying? Like, Heisman classes of people, because 3 of the 4 of them made the Hall of Fame. And that's rare.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, go back. Like, it's a lot of Heisman winners that didn't make the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Let alone, like, 3 of the 4 that was nominated.
Yeah.
Because Charles Woodson in there, Peyton Manning in there.
Yeah.
Randy, and I want to say the fact, like, I got to go back and look it up.
That was the 4.
Well, it was 5 of them, but I remember those 4.
Was it 5?
Yeah,
I thought it only had 4
like,
candidates.
Finalists. Okay. But 4 of them, 4 of them I remembered. Of course, Ryan Leaf for all the wrong reasons.
Right.
But Randy Moss, Peyton Manning, and Charles Woodson are all in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
And so, like, you're talking about a guy that's still relatively young. I mean, like, realistically, could still live for another, if he's perfectly healthy, could still reasonably live for another 25 years, to make it to 70. And you know what I'm saying? Like, but now he's talking about health challenges. And so just, especially as black men, we need to make sure we stay, because this is somebody whose job was to be in peak physical condition. And one thing that people remember about Randy, he was always at the peak of physical condition. He was faster than everybody. He could outrun, outjump everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, they say he was skinny, but he was deceptively strong. Right. He had that country strength.
Yeah.
Like, so you talk about the epitome of physical capability of what the human body be like, being a superhuman, and here it is, this superhero is like, I got health challenges. So now if somebody that's a superhero can have these health challenges, like, what are the rest of us doing? And so we need to make sure we stay on that and make sure we take care of ourselves so we can be here for our families.
No doubt. Well said. Now The Heisman. Not sure you know the Heisman is actually this weekend. We got Travis Hunter. We know that's the cornerback wide receiver from Colorado. You got Dylan Gabriel. That's the quarterback of Oregon.
Right.
You got Ashton Genty,
The running back.
from Boise State, that broke. He broke, I think, school records. He didn't break the Bear Sanders record because that's the way he was trending. And who's the other guy? I can't even think about it, but it's four, but it's really gonna come down to Travis and Ashton Genty. You know what I mean? Oh yeah, definitely. Now Dylan Gabriel, he's the one that's number one because Oregon's number one, so you can say he has an outside shot. But as far as numbers wise, like I thought Shador was gonna be up in there because he won all the quarterback
Cam
award. Was Cam Ward?
Yeah.
Okay, the Miami quarterback.
Dylan Gabriel, okay. Travis Hunter,
Cam Ward,
Ashton Genty, and Cam Ward.
Okay, Cam Ward. He's the Miami quarterback. He definitely just a filler in. He definitely not gonna do it. But it's gonna be between Ashton, Travis, and then you can say Dylan is an outside shot because Oregon's been the number one team all year. Personally, I think who should win it. I think Ashton Genty got to win it. Personally, who I want to win it is Travis, just because of what he does on both ends. The reason I say Ashton Genty because he's been putting up crazy numbers. I think he got 27, 28 touchdowns out the year, well over 2,000 yards. And if you look at his Heisman year and you look at players like Mark Ingram that won at that time, Derrick Henry, Reggie Bush, like those type of players that won it, their Heisman year, Genty is blowing their numbers out the water. And they in the playoffs, the college football playoffs, and they're 11-1. They won their conference. So it's, I would not be surprised if Ashton Genty wins it, but the popularity award would go to obviously Travis Hunter, given the cachet, Deion's protege, and all that stuff. So, what you think, Rad?
I mean, I think that Travis Hunter is the sexy pick.
Definitely.
Now, I will say that he is doing something that a lot of guys aren't, because he's playing on both sides of the ball.
Yeah.
He would probably be the first player since Woodson that you could say was also a defensive player to win the Heisman. Because he has had more impact, I think, on the defensive end than offensively. Now, going forward, if you want to make money in the NFL, he probably do need to go as a wide receiver.
That's where the money
That's where the money is.
That's where the money is.
But
no doubt.
I don't think that you can go wrong with either Travis or Ashton. Cam has had a phenomenal season.
He has.
And an argument could be made even for
Dylan. You talking about the dude from Oregon?
No.
Are you talking about somebody that's down the list?
Yeah, like ASU running back, Arizona State running back.
Okay, yeah, they in the playoffs too.
Like,
yeah.
Scatterbo.
Okay.
He had an argument, for being in there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And
okay.
And one thing that separated him from a lot of guys, especially running backs, like he had over 500 receiving yards and 3 receiving touchdowns. Okay. They go along with 19 rushing touchdowns.
Okay.
So like when you put that into context, he got 22 touchdowns overall. You know what I'm saying? Like over 1,500 yards rushing, over 500 yards receiving, 22 touchdowns total. Like this man is like all over the offense. They went from being like 3-9 the year before to 11-2 now. You know what I'm saying? Like, so the turnaround, like his play has been a big part of his team's success as well. And the only player, he's the team's second leading receiver as a running back. It was a sophomore that's the only person that's in front of him on the team in receiving yards as well. And so that's one thing that separated him from even Ashton, nowhere close to receiving yards that he got. To say, not to say that he should get it, but at least to be in the mention of I should be in the building, I should be in the room.
Yeah.
But no, like I said, I don't think you can go wrong with either Travis, or Ashton. I'm always curious when I see these lists. I really want to see what these guys are gonna do, on the next level.
Yeah, now that's gonna be now for my boys. I wouldn't be mad if we got Genty. Now I was talking to McDade while we was in Puerto Rico. Like he a Cowboy fan as well. He don't want Genty because he think he got too many miles on him with all the carries and stuff he has and stuff like that. But we need a running back. So if we happen to be in the top 15, you know what I mean? Like, and also, I don't know if you saw this as well, Archie Manning was asked, where do you want your grandson to play? Talking about the NFL. He said he wanted his kid to play for the Cowboys. Now, we know in history what Archie Manning did with his son.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Eli.
That's the oldest grandson.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
Cooper's son.
That's Cooper's son.
And, Cooper was the one that couldn't make it, and he actually was
the most athletic. Yeah.
And he ended up having a medical condition, but he was the most athletic of all of the three.
Yep, and that's his son.
And so his son.
He cold. I don't know if you've seen him play this year.
Yeah, no. Arch got it.
But he's that guy. So I'm thinking, look, I ain't gonna lie. My coworker hit me up. He was talking about this. He was like, I didn't even know this was a thing, but I looked up the article. And he said that's exactly what he said. But if you look at it, he said he want Arch to play another 3 years at Texas. Mm-hmm. That's starting, you know what I'm saying, another 3 years. So if you do another 3 years, that'll be 2027 when he comes out. Dak only got one more year on his contract. At that year, 2028 is when this big deal is up, right? So I'm just, hey, if Jerry can make that happen, bro.
Man, hopefully, let me not say what
you know what I'm saying. If Jerry can make that happen, I'm
about
all
to say
for
real
it.
Bad.
Hey, all I'm saying is that's something to look forward
Hopefully
to.
Jerry is not making decisions.
Yeah, I'm with you. I know what you're saying.
The decision that is made is that they get Arch. I don't, like I said, I don't.
No, I heard
for
you.
me,
I'm with you.
having my issue with Dallas is only been, and it's crazy because we were talking about this at work today. It's like I was making a joke because I got a lot of Pittsburgh people that I work with.
Of course you do.
And but check this out. You don't know that they're Steelers fans because they don't say nothing, right?
Wow.
And it's like, but the Cowboy fans is like, and I said my only issue is with some of them is like, man, them folks can be, 2-15, and will be like, as soon as the Super Bowl over, we going to the Super Bowl next year.
Yeah.
Not we gonna have a good season. Not we gonna bounce back. It's like and so like that. I think is the reason why a lot of people. But that comes from Jerry. It wasn't like that when Landry was the coach. Mm-hmm. It wasn't like when Jerry took, like, that's when it became like this sense of entitlement. Like, and I think that's why it's easy to hate, because you have an owner that rubs it in your face, and so now you want to see them fall, because even when y'all get blasted by 20, here he come. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, oh, this nigga again. Like, yeah. And again, it reminds me of an old Patrice O'Neal joke where he was talking about when Obama was president. He's like, sometimes he said black people would be with you. He's like, but white folks, y'all won't shut the fuck up. Like, if y'all would just be quiet, like, black people would be like, Obama, what are you doing? It's like, because y'all don't like him, like, now we got to rock with him. And, like, some of y'all would be like, sometimes we want to not say nothing, but it's like, because y'all get so much vitriol and hate, it's like y'all got to double down because y'all got so many people coming for y'all. Right. And so,
it happens.
I mean, I will say, I just like watching good football. Watching y'all play the last few years has been such a roller coaster. And it's not been good football. And so, like, I just...
Especially in the playoffs.
Well, and I mean, I like for parity. You know what I'm saying? I like to see where you don't know who's going to win. Where you actually do get invested, because you who's going to come out on top. As opposed to, like, oh, we playing? Oh, okay. Yeah, we looking forward to next week because we already know this is a dub. Like, that don't make for good football. And so I hope for their family, I hope for, y'all, that it goes that way.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
No doubt. Now, we're going to end this, man, with famous poet, writer, activist.
Hold on, we forgot about
what we got?
What's the name? Permanently closing its doors in Memphis.
You talking about Houston? Houston restaurant in Memphis is officially permanently closing down. Now, what's the skinny on that? Because I don't know, exactly maybe why.
So you had that, like somebody affiliated with them came out with a statement. It's like over the last couple of years, due to concerns about public safety and the safety of our staff and crime. As you would say, I call cap on it only because you're down the street from Folks Folly.
Yeah.
Folks Folly is like the equivalent from your house to your stop sign down there from Houston.
Oh, it's literally across the street.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, like on the side, but just a little bit up.
Yeah.
But like, ain't nobody stopped going to Folks Folly.
Nah.
It's a Whole Foods.
Yeah.
And sometimes I used to go to that Whole Food, like, that joint always be packed.
Yeah.
That is you got a Whole Foods, that is the epitome of gentrification. You know where else is a Whole Foods at? Midtown.
Yeah.
On Union.
Yeah, G-Town too.
Where's that Union and whatever that little side street is? Was it Cooper? But like,
I know
gentrification, baby.
Yeah.
So like, don't try to sell us these wolf tickets that is crime going on. I have seen a lot of people that when they announced it, that they talked about, they was like, I'm surprised they stayed open. The service was so bad. I'm surprised they stayed open. The food wasn't hitting on all that. I'm surprised they stayed open. They couldn't get reliable people to work there. So now when that's an overwhelming majority of the comments, but the people comment knowing, crime in the city, like, you don't even live here. Like, I go click on that person's picture, like, you stay in Wisconsin. You stay in California. You stay in Texas. You stay in Arizona. You stay in New Mexico. And you talking about stuff you don't know about.
Now, I ain't gonna lie.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I think I was talking. That used to be me and Rachel's spot. We used to go there every Thursday to get that smoked salmon, and they got the sweet hot potato soup, something like that. One of the potato soup. And we ain't been in a while, but that used to be our little place. And I was thinking, we was having dinner maybe a couple weeks ago somewhere, and I was like, is Houston still open? Because I asked, because we ain't been in no, because it used to be our little spot. And I wondered, I was like, is it going to still kind of be around? Because I knew how, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a chain restaurant, but then it's like.
It's a nice chain.
It's a very nice chain restaurant. Like, you don't. You go in there to eat a cheeseburger and fries, you know what I'm saying, on a date, you're going to come out there spending $60.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Just whatever.
Oh, yeah, no, you're going to spend $40 by yourself.
Yeah, definitely. So, I ain't going to lie. I can't say I'm surprised, but, because I asked about that not that long ago. I was like, is it still open? Because that community out there, like, it's a Jewish community not too far from over there on Poplar. So, a lot of the clientele and demographic is from that community, and the folks on Poplar, like, it's a nice housing facility.
Yeah,
so, but Folks Folly though, that's a different money.
Yeah, no, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's a different money out there with Folks Folly.
Yeah, no, like, look, man, I tell you, look, if you take somebody to Folks Folly, like, it's certain things
you like them.
No, it's not only that. Like, I've seen women.
You like them.
I've seen women post stuff on Facebook that say, if I ask you to spend the night and we ain't fucking, you can go back home. I've seen women post stuff like this.
Wow.
Okay, if I take you to Folks Folly, you think that I'm not at least thinking about it.
Hammer time. That's what you think.
Like at least I'm thinking about it. Not saying it's gonna happen. Yeah. I said, but you just know it's on my mind.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Cause like we can go to UHC and I can go back home afterwards.
Yeah.
If you just trying to kick it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and Huey's actually got good drinks. Like, we can go anywhere and kick it. We can go to Happy Mexican and kick it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I ain't got to worry about whether or not I'm going to make my mortgage payment or my Memphis light, gas, and water payment. Like, but, like, Houston's is one of those ones where it's a lot above, like, a Applebee's or a Huey's or places like that. Not quite Folks Folly or Stony River or somewhere like that. But, like, again, it kind of falls in that criteria of what they say in the movies, like you want to come in for a nightcap, like I'm expecting a nightcap after.
Folks Follies on the same
Folks
level,
definitely
like a Roof Chris, a Fleming's, Iris, the gent over there, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, like places like that. So
California, Del Fresco's.
Del Fresco. Okay.
Yeah, we ain't got a Del Fresco's out here.
Yeah.
But I want to say like they in New York, California, like matter of fact, you ever seen that movie Law Abiding Citizen?
Yeah.
You remember when he was in jail and they asked him what he wanted to eat? And he got the steak and the asparagus and it was from Del Fresco's.
Okay.
And he was like, and he asked for somewhere outlandish and expensive. But he got Del Fresco, and Del Fresco's is one of those places where it's like, it's a la carte. That's how you know it's expensive. Because it ain't like a steak and the bacon. You got to get everything individually. Like, if you got to get everything individually, and folks follow the same way. Ain't no dinner plate.
Yeah.
Whatever you get, you're getting everything. You got to get your steak individual, your baked potatoes individual, your asparagus or your broccoli is individual. Everything come, and you gonna pay at least $15 for your asparagus or your broccoli.
Yeah. Now I've seen online like it's some raffles out there now. Like what's the Houston's gonna be now? What's it gonna be? What's it gonna turn into?
Papa Do's.
It's gonna be a new. Oh, I would love that. I would love that. Like, or even Cheesecake Factory. Like, you know, they tore that
location
down.
In the Wolf Chase.
It would be a super duper better location.
I didn't like that in the Wolf Chase.
Me either.
You need like Rafferty's in the Wolf Chase.
Yep.
And Rafferty's straight. Like I mess with Rafferty's.
Rafferty's
but like you need Rafferty's in the Wolf Chase.
Right.
Yeah. You don't put cheesecake in the Wolf.
I always thought the cheesecake. It was hidden, bruh. Like, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't even on the strip when you go down G-Town Parkway or go down 64. Like, you couldn't even see it unless you went into the mall and drove around and see the little sign. So, I would love to see, Papa Do's would be, that would be A1. But a cheesecake or, bring a Qadaba back here in Memphis.
Yeah. I forgot about that thing.
I'm a Qadaba.
I mean, and I think, man, the problem with crime, and we've talked about this before, the problem with crime is that, and shout out to this guy I follow on IG, his name is Amani Trey. Now I know he does tattoos, but he's famous because he does these videos where he talks on the end of he's like, anybody can get it. But he talked about, like, parenting. And what he said is when your child does something where they cross the line, he was like, sometimes we be like, oh, I don't want to hurt them or whatever. But he said the punishment got to be so severe that they don't want to do whatever they did again. And he said, so when you slightly punish a child, he said, you expect more out of them than you expect out of yourself. Because you expecting that they're not going to go back and do it again. So if you half-ass punish them, they're going to go back and do it again because it's like, it's just like we train the dog, like the way they used to train dogs back in the day. Your dog pee or shit in the house, like you beat the shit out of them, you rub their nose, they'll never go back in that spot again. Cause every time they go, again, shout out to rest in peace to my guy Patrice O'Neal, but he talked about raising. He said, "Man, your dog will break out a cigarette when he go back to the spot." He like, oh yeah, I remember when I ain't going, but like, you got people that will rob somebody. Murder somebody, attempt to murder somebody, and be back out the next day. So now you can kill me. I don't get to come back. I don't get to do that over. So then what's the consequence for somebody who does something that could lead to that? Or now again, we're not talking about like somebody you steal a loaf of bread. Okay, well, you do whatever you equivalent to whatever that is, paying it back. But like you pulling a gun to somebody, you shooting at somebody, you shooting somebody, you taking somebody's life, like that person. You'll never see daylight again.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you made a mistake. Yeah, okay. With certain mistake, if I choose to jump out of a plane without a parachute, I made a mistake. It's gonna be some consequences that go with that. We saw on Fresh Prince, our boy Trevor bungee cord was too long. If he ain't get to come back from that, it needs to be consequences. You also need to protect citizens. If you protect your family, somebody's stealing your car, you trying to protect your wife and your kids, you shoot them, you'll do more jail time than the person trying to steal your car.
Yeah.
So now if the consequences, and what they did was they had the right idea but for the wrong crime. You was giving people football numbers for a bag of weed. when they should have been doing football numbers for attempted murder, for first-degree murder, for second-degree murder, for manslaughter. They should have had football numbers, not 5 years. They should have been doing 20 years for manslaughter for... Now, again, it's always a justifiable homicide. It's always somebody raping your child or whatever you take. That's different. But we talking about, oh, I don't like you at work. I want to steal your car.
Yeah.
You said something I ain't like. Okay, well, you gonna do these 30 years. And now everybody ain't smart. You still gonna have some people that cross the line. But like when niggas know I'll be gone for life, I'll never get to see my kids grow. I won't. But by the time I get out, my grandma, my mama, my uncle, my auntie, my dad, all of them gonna be gone. Niggas gonna think twice.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
And so like you want to talk about protecting these areas, make it to where, again, I'm not saying that people should not get speeding tickets. But if we have more policing for speeding than we do in areas where people are getting robbed and raped and murdered, I think that's a problem. We got more policing for jaywalking than we do for people getting robbed and raped and murdered and killed. I think that's a problem. And I'm not one that says defund the police. I'm not one that says, and again, I've been in the back of more police cars than more people that I know, but I know it is some good people out there who have the job. I don't think that the system is good, but it is some good individuals who have the job, and I support them because they're worth more dead than they are alive. But at the same time, you want to protect these restaurants like a Houston's, like a Folks Folly, like a Papa Do's, like a Cordoba, like anywhere else that's of value. You got to have people in place to protect these higher establishments, but it also needs to be punishment for people who choose. You can choose to step across the line, but understand that you're gonna pay that. You're gonna pay that tax. As Denzel said, you leaving with something.
Yeah. And that's the thing here in Memphis, because I hate it because most of the good stuff that we have has to be in certain parts of town. We got the Top Golf that's out there near G-Town. We got a lot of other nice restaurants. Moon something that's in G-Town, real nice restaurant.
There's a lot of good ones in Germantown.
You know what
Fortune Parlor.
Yep, that's a good one too. So but having stuff in Midtown around that area, like. We definitely got to do a better job with that. So hopefully, Mayor Young can, get some, certain stuff together.
And he needs to put in some legislation.
Definitely.
To protect, these areas and our citizens. And especially those people, like you talking about people, and again, as hard as I am on folks, but especially for those of you all who are voters.
Yeah.
Protect your constituents. You're not even protecting your constituents. And like I said, that's what I got an issue with. These are people who put you where you are, and you're not even concerned about protecting the people who are enabling you to be able to get a salary for the rest of your life.
Yep. Ooh, so, boy. Yeah. That's going to a whole nother thing. But yeah.
You talked about for the quickie.
Nikki Giovanni.
Yeah.
Nikki Giovanni, man. That's the poet writer. When you put that up, when you actually text me that, I was on social media. I saw Nunu posted about, because that was the only, I think, the poet and writer that she was influenced by the most. Right. And so she did a whole long little post about Nikki Giovanni, man. So yeah, go ahead.
And you got to remember, when I believe it was either our first season or maybe our second season, we actually did an episode that we talk about lying to the ones that we love. And it was a conversation that she had with James Baldwin. And we kind of played a piece of that conversation they were having. Yep. But she was a very deep thinker. She was somebody who, she didn't have to be the loudest voice in the room. Shout out to my homeboy, Anthony Breathe Easy, Lowry, because he actually posted something where he was talking about, he was at an event where she was at, and she was a major influence to him. And he said she let everybody else talk. It's like, but when she said something, everybody listened. She didn't yell the loudest. She said what she said, and then she sat back in the cut. But she touched a lot of people that we know. Definitely, again, that is somebody, an elder that I had mad respect for, especially being somebody who was a poet. I always respect poets and writers and just the thought process of how they come up with their work. and essentially they always question power and authority, and they ask the questions and the things that a lot of us think but don't know how to put to words. And so and she was on the front lines, of the civil rights movement. She had a lot of influence and worked with a lot of people, whether it was the civil rights movement or the Black Panthers, or like she was out there. And she spoke for us.
She was from Tennessee too.
Yeah, definitely.
Went to Fist. Tennessee. Yeah, went to Fist. Yeah, so yeah, man. So salute to her. All her work and stuff. And that's the good thing about writing, you know what I'm saying? Like, even when you're past and gone, like all your writings and recordings and information is going to be there and live on. So salute to her. She was born in 43. I looked at. She was 43.
Yeah, she was 81 years old.
81. So that's that's a good life live. So definitely salute to her, man.
And before we go, man, prayers to our sister, friend of the show, friend of the pod. She's actually been on here when we did our Best Man review, where we talked about the Best Man. What was the last one? It wasn't Holiday, but the joint that we did.
It was like in I forgot what it's called, but that joint it was good. It was a good. I gotta look it up now.
Yeah,
Best Man, the final chapter.
Yeah, Best Man, final chapter, right. Because we talked about the episodes, and she was on here talking about that. But man, just prayers up for her family. The elder, her mom, Sister Arnita Hines, who was a church member of ours for years. Had a long health battle. She's gone on. She ran her race. She completed her journey. But just prayers to Ebony and her family during this time of grieving. And her mom was a beautiful lady, a beautiful soul. I always, I see where Ebony gets her sense of humor from, because her mom was a very witty individual, had a great sense of humor. Always laughing,
and she would fly. Had
no. Ev got to learn now.
Had a little hat on.
Yeah. My deuce was man, like the Jim Jones song, bowling. Yeah. Like mom was super fly.
Fashion.
Yeah, fashionista.
Yeah.
Yep. And so man, but our prayers go to our sister, Ebony, during this time, and we grieve with you, and we love you. We praying for you, and I reached out to her the other day, man. She you wouldn't even know, you know what I'm saying? Maybe it's her background in her educational field. Right. But she whatever her process is, she's taking it in stride.
She's taking it well, because I hit her up maybe the day I think maybe she posted it, and I told her me and Rachel here for her. Anything she needs, like for real, let her know, because I think that's a cliche term that you can
right.
text up. I was like, but I said anything. I said for real. You know what I mean? Just so you know, it's just not something to say.
Yeah, no, I hit her up. She was out kicking. She's like, oh, I'm out right now. I'm like, oh, okay, my bad. Okay.
Right.
I was like, well, I just want you to know I love you. I'm here for. Okay, I'm good. Yeah, I'm gonna get back. I'm like, oh, okay, you out getting it in. So man, I'm glad that she is. Handling how she's handling. But again, that's. If it ain't hit, I know, and maybe she's already processed it, but I just know that sometimes it don't hit you immediately, but when it do hit, it hit. And so we love you, we praying for you, we here for you.
No doubt. Y'all, but until next time, continue with that executive mindset.
And most definitely keep it presidential.
Salute.
Arrivederci. Bow.